Hello there. Good evening. I welcome to another live stream. Uh, Hi, Joe V, and hello, Stephen Fox from New Zealand. Well, thank you for joining. I think as of this moment, you are the furthest person geographically from here. At this exact moment. Well, who said hi? And hello, Cosmic Ray. What is a random Erewhon? That could be a philosophical question, I guess. Um, yeah, maybe for some reason it reminded me of not to reference pop culture, but the w- w- who is Gamora, where is Gamora, who is Gamora, and why is Gamora question. But anyway, um, random Erewhon's just Erewhon's alias I've used, or handle, whatever you want to call it, that I've used for years. And Random Erewhon was this YouTube channel, which was originally kind of random, and now it's astronomy, which was kind of random that it landed on that. But no, I mean, it's not that random. I can be kind of random. That's neither here nor there. So good evening. So I'm looking at it has been getting darker earlier. So I started the stream. I had thought about starting the last one at 8:30, but I went ahead and did this one at 8:30 because I wasn't quite feeling like doing a ton of development beforehand. The conditions were good, so I set everything up and was able to align things. And I actually had kicked off two globular cluster Messier objects that I hadn't imaged yet, I don't think. I had tried imaging them. Anyway, they didn't, one of them failed. But it might be because the object's too low or obstructed. But I'll get to that in a moment. Yeah. and code. Don't forget about the code part of the channel. Well, historically that wasn't what this channel was about, but it does add to its to the randomness, I guess you could say. So that is fair. Yeah. So I'm last time I was running two versions of the Seestar Alp software. So I could do development on one, and then the other was more stable. This time I'm just running both versions on the development, my local copy, just because it's the latest code, and I also pulled down some changes that others have been working on quite a bit. Actually, I haven't done nearly as much recently. Been busy with work and stuff like that. Anyhow, let me switch to. Is this actually? Of course, it decides. It doesn't want to cooperate. Let's try this again. Will that work? Yeah, cool. Don't know why that didn't work. Anyhow, so as you can see, I have the two instances running. I tried to go to M22, and that did not work, and I'm not 100% sure why. Let's look that up while we're here. M22. See, that should have worked, but let me go ahead and switch this one to live view, our favorite. And then this one I'll switch to live view. Even though it's not imaging, it should at least give us an idea. See, it's in the frame. That is definitely a globular cluster there. But for whatever reason, it failed on the go-to. When it's a new, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting about that. I did promise to do that. Maybe I'll do that after the stream. Because it used to be a little bit, well, actually the computer I did the images on, it's a Linux box and it's actually disconnected, but that isn't the reason why I didn't do it. It's historically it would take, the images are fairly large, and for whatever reason, that computer I had unplugged from my wired network and put it on, it was wireless, and so it would take forever to copy the images over, but I'll do it. I need to hook it back up, so I'll do it after the stream. Thanks for reminding me, and sorry, I had meant to. The good thing is there's some nice new, some useful functionality. Let me make a note on that. After stream, update the Raspberry Pi image. See, it's a good time to raise these kind of things. Now, why is this not one running? Although, look at this. It's yeah. So this showed this happened on a previous live stream. Someone, I don't know if it was Cosmic Ray or it was someone else, I forget, brought up that it would be nice if don't tell me it's okay. It would be nice if you could have the number of stacked images and failed number of successful and failed frames on the status screen. And I had made a GitHub issue to do that. Well, I think Wiley Site ended up doing it. So it is, this one's imaging, and see, you can see successful frames and failed frames. So that's the great thing about there's a lot of people contributing to this. So things come up and they get fixed, resolved, added pretty quickly. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and try to manually start imaging this. Although, how do I, let me go back to this schedule. Let me just restart it. And hopefully that'll actually run this time. Let me go back to the live view on this one. And again, unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to, I had started over the weekend looking at at improving the live view, because it needs some work. And then there was this whole, yeah, that was Wiley Site, I think, that added that. Yeah, well, the live view shows the frames and failed, but the status screen wasn't showing it. So you had to go into live view. But if you didn't want to go into live view, since it's sometimes can be problematic, it's now on the status screen. So like it's also on this screen too. If you go into stats, it's down here now. So you can see successful and failed frames, which is pretty handy. Now, one other thing that has been brought up is this stage. There's sub-stages, but that's not being displayed yet. And when you're stacking, you don't see the sub-stages, but like if the telescope's kind of doing the 3-point alignment, it's doing several things that are part of 3-point alignment, and it's sending messages back saying what it's doing at that point. And we just need to take those and put them on the interface. But it's on the list. That's interesting. This one is terribly out of alignment, and yet it's imaging fine. That makes no sense. That makes no sense at all. Although it's not showing up, I say it's imaging, but it's not showing up in live view. Oh, it's over. Because I only did this for like a 10-minute exposure, so it's already done. Let's see where this one is. Did this one? See, again, this is where having the sub-exposures would be handy. I mean, the sub-stages. See, it's plate solve. Plate solve failed. It's still working. Auto go to. Anyway. Yeah, most of the live view was loading. Yeah, it's, yeah. there's one of the changes I made, and it's a configuration change. Well, no, that won't help it. I had made a configuration change where if you're doing the streaming view, you can have it do UDP streaming, which, although it's lossy, it can be unreliable, but because it doesn't, it's not as prone to falling behind. Anyway, yeah, queue depth. Yeah, that usually means that one of the web threads, I think, is locked up. I haven't traced it down to see which library actually generates it, because this isn't the code. None of the code we wrote produces this message. It's an internal web server message, unfortunately. Well, since neither one of these is actually actively imaging, I'm just gonna stop it. That's unfortunate. I wonder why it locked up so quickly, because it hadn't been. It's weird. Anyway, I wasn't going to do a lot of debugging of code today, so I'm mostly going to focus on trying to image some things. Yes. So yeah, yeah, that's a little confusing. It says mosaic, but the panel's one by one. That is actually kind of a quirk of the way. Oh, wow. Oh, dang it. See this? Clouds. I knew it was a possibility. But holy moly. Boy, that rolled in quickly. Like, it was clear just about 15 minutes ago. Well, we'll see how. Like, there was a chance of some clouds coming in, but yeah, holy moly. Maybe I will work on development. Who knows? But yeah, so Cosmic Ray, the mosaic, like I say, it's kind of an idiosyncrasy. Like, the original Seestar ALP kind of API, before the web interface was built, before any of that was built, there was it had a few internal it could do a lot of things, but it was the imaging, a lot of it was kind of oriented around mosaics. It was oriented around things you couldn't do with the app at the time, and that included mosaics and some astrometry type stuff, and also kind of exposing a lot of the internal kind of variables on the Seestar, like being able to change the dither setting and stuff like that. But it didn't have like a one-shot image mode. But when the web interface was built, that was like something like I wanted and Wiley Site wanted. And so we decided, rather than trying to implement one-shot images internally and adding another imaging kind of take a photo mode, we decided to just kind of fake it by having a web interface that says, okay, you want to take an image, and it's actually a 1x1 mosaic, so it's just a single panel. So it's the same idea, but we didn't at the time, I think, especially because neither of us had touched the backend code, and we've just kind of left it, I think, because but it does, we could probably, I don't see a strong reason to change the internal behavior, but it could be less confusing if we changed the interface to say it's just an image, because it is kind of weird. But like I say, that was kind of a historical quirk that when the web interface was built, we didn't want it. The back end only had mosaics, and we didn't want to, we weren't familiar with it. And so we just kind of used that, just did a 1x1. Like the original version of that that screen. Like the mosaic form was done first, and then it was basically copied, and the panel numbers were kind of hidden, and forced to like 1, um, more or less, I think. Man, that really. Let me see what this is. Because I knew there was like a chance. And this has happened before where it's like, oh, 10% clouds. It's like, that's not 10% clouds. Okay, 1% cloud. That doesn't look like a 1% cloud. But given how quickly it kind of popped up, I'm wondering if it's just a small group of clouds. Because they seem to be moving pretty quickly. Yeah, they seem to be pretty low and moving quickly. So maybe it's just like a little clump. Yeah. Yeah, 1%. That's not 1% clouds. Unless it's 1% for the region and all of them are congregating over my house. um like maybe it's average only 1% over Houston, but it's all here. But yeah. Yeah. This happens on a regular basis here. Like I don't know if this happens to other people, but it consistently happens to me where like the National Weather Service will say, "Oh, it's going to be clear tonight," and Spheric says, 1% clouds, and then it's like this happens. Yeah, how lucky. Yeah, very lucky. Yeah, yeah. Maybe my sea stars are cloud magnets or something. They're like, oh, it's like, hey, or the clouds they want to be photographed by a telescope or something. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, they detected the clouds, but I mean detected the telescopes. They are moving quickly, so I'm hopeful that this will clear because like like um like yeah. So like look at this. This is the history from tonight. And when was this? Like there was a clump that came through 10:15 or 8:10, and it was like brief and it kind of went away. And yeah, everything's been kind of clear. Why is this behind? But yeah, it was like mostly clear and then suddenly until it wasn't. Yeah, see, look at this. It was even as recently as 10-15 minutes ago, it was mostly clear and then suddenly like completely cloudy. Like these frames are like 20-30 seconds apart from each other. Like these clouds just came up like within a couple minutes. They just yeah. Yeah, I forgot to set that flag. um but yeah, that's crazy. It just like within moments it just completely clouded over. Well, not completely. I mean, there are holes in the cloud, so maybe it'll clear. Anyway, while we're waiting, what else has been added recently? Um, uh, I think did I show this last time? No, it's under. So there've been some changes to the stats page. I think this was in place last time where you can it has a uh, like before it would have how many degrees out of alignment the telescope was. You can see right here I mean this was the only number it would show before, but it wasn't kind of broken down X and Y. And this was added, um, not by me. um, was that Joe V who added that? Um, Unfortunately, time has blurred together for me. Um, anyway, so that was a recent addition. Again, nothing that I've done, but and then these there's been some, I think in the last, like today or yesterday, there's been some changes on this screen here where startup sequence, you can specify latitude, longitude, or if you leave it blank, it'll just, whereas before it was just kind of, I think this is helpful when you're doing equatorial mode. And I don't know why it keeps doing that. But, and then there's been some cleanup here. Like there were some, I think it was on this screen or on the settings screen, there were some values that are rarely used that cause the web interface to fail on the very latest versions of the API or of the app and firmware. So if you're running on the latest firmware, it was breaking. So some of these changes, I think on the settings screen, were necessary to fix some of it, I think. But what else changed? I can go look at the release notes. There's been a lot of it. I know there's been a lot of activity because earlier today when I went to synchronize my code with the latest, it's like there'd been 18 changes. Yeah, I mean, look at all these just today, 7 hours ago. Wiley site's been busy. Although Quake 01. Oh, Quake 01. Oh, that's another thing. I have not. Thanks for mentioning that. This is it's been a long-standing request. When you go in to specify a target, you would have to enter. So I'm just going to add. Let's just do M22 again. You would have to enter the amount of time in seconds, and so, you'd see me go like 600 seconds. Well, now you can go like 10 minutes, I think. Will that work? I hope it will work. I haven't actually tried that yet. Yep. See, look, I entered 10M, which was 10 minutes, and it automatically converted it to 600 seconds for me. So that's a very helpful. That's 1 hour. And yeah, so if you want to specify 1 hour, hours and minutes, you can do it in a more natural format. Have the Seestars look at each other. You know, the one that I really like doing, or I always think it goes back to the old camcorder days where you would like point the camcorder at a television, and you get like this weird visual kind of mosaic feedback, not mosaic, kaleidoscope kind of feedback thing. Maybe have a monitor with the Seestar's output and then point the Seestar at it and get kind of the same effect. That would be, yeah. Although pointing them at each other, that could be interesting. Although, because I'm not next to them, it would be kind of tricky with the alignment. But yeah, so being able to put human readable, or put it like hours, minutes, seconds in the session time is that was another recent one, a recent addition. Let's see. Like there were a lot of updates. Yeah. Rec stabilization, I think that was something that was causing a problem with the latest app, the latest Seestar app, or the latest firmware was breaking in. Yeah, see, Quake, hours, minutes, seconds. Yeah, it was a fix of a workaround for the new firmware, which has been kind of a moving target, and unfortunately, some of us have kind of held back. Like I haven't updated my app in a while. Um, so the problem is some of the newer firmwares have been causing issues, and like I wouldn't know because yeah, there are more issues. And like I say, because not everybody is running the latest version, um, it's been causing issues. I've I know I feel kind of, what do you call it? I felt a bit that it would be a bit cheesy, but I'm like, since I already have two Seestars, but I was like, maybe I should start a fundraiser of like, help me buy a third Seestar so I can have it on the latest version of the code, so I can help, you know, track things. But part of me is like, I should just take one of the two I have and update it to the latest and then just deal with it. Okay, that's good. It works all the way up to 309 now. But yeah, there's definitely been some issues, and there's been some people who've been helping a lot. But maybe I just need to bite the bullet and try it on the third, or not get a third Seestar, but just take one of my existing one of the two I have and update it. Let's see, merge. Yeah, add target name, successful and failed frames to the stats page. Yeah, that was Wiley's site. He added that. Yeah, so there's been like a lot of, I mean, this is stuff just since Friday. These are all commits from Friday and then Saturday and Sunday. Like, there's been a lot going on. And has any of it been by me? I think, yeah, I had like a little fix over the weekend, but that was it. Everything else is, I mean, it just showed, I mean, I've worked on a few things, but on the whole, it's just part of the puzzle of like everybody who's working on this, which is nice. It's hard to keep up sometimes, because I'll join the Discord and I'm like, whoa, I missed a lot of messages. But yeah, so oh, and then the other one, the other big one that's going to be coming, it doesn't affect most people unless you have more than one Seestar. But Kai, who started this whole project, he's finishing up some code, some changes that will add kind of a unified scheduler. I think he calls it a federated scheduler, where if you have more than one Seestar, you'll be able to schedule. I don't know how far it goes. Like, one of the things he was talking about is you create a mosaic and say it's got 9 panels, and if you had 3 Seestars, it will automatically distribute the panels across the Seestars. So each one will only do 3 of the 9, which is really cool. And so once that shows up, we're going to have to make some changes to the front end to support it, unless he's doing it. I'm not sure. But the changes, the way he's doing it, he's basically adding, I think what he's doing is adding a, like right now, if you look, there's like, well, you can't see it here, but if you look at the configuration file, the Seestars are numbered. So you have telescope 1 and 2 and 3. And he's basically created kind of a synthetic telescope 0 that has this federated scheduler. And so I don't think it'll be too much work to get it working in the front end, unless, like I say, he's doing it too. But that's going to be coming soon. So it's more helpful for people who have more than one Seestar, but I think that'll be pretty cool. and I'm looking forward to testing that out once that shows up, um, because that'll be pretty cool. Because like right now, where I have multiple Seestar, like I'll have to schedule things over here and schedule things over here, and it's not like a huge deal, but it'll be nice to be able to just set up the mosaic once and just hit go, and it'll kind of divide up the panels. So that'll be cool. That's coming soon, pretty soon. And there was something else that I know had been discussed that might be coming soon too. I think that's going to be one of the big ones, though, is the unified scheduler. Yeah. What else was there? There's a lot of other things going on, though. I mean, I'm doing stuff with live view. Oh yeah, and I just general making things more reliable. That's still kind of a work in progress, but it looks like, let me see. Oh, still, but I mean, there's some clear sky. It's like it's close. I mean, it's not like completely clouded over. This is where having a wider field of view would be handy on my all sky camera, but I have buildings in the way, so it doesn't really buy me much. But it would be nice to know if like there's some clear sky coming. What else? Let's see. This might be an underwhelming live stream. Even more underwhelming. Let's see. Was there any other items? It's kind of a major drag. I had wanted to do some imaging of Pluto again, and a few other targets. Although I was kind of constrained because it's almost a full moon, so I was kind of limiting myself to certain targets. How's it look? Wednesday supposedly is good. Wednesday, Thursday, maybe even tomorrow. Who knows? Because like this can change. But Wednesday and Thursday look good. Friday, Saturday. Wow, that would be actually nice if I had a few days in a row. For multiple reasons, both to have live streams, and like I haven't streamed to Twitch in a while, but it would also give me some time to work on the live view. I really need to just, yeah. What else was there? Let us see. Is anybody else out there imaging tonight, or if it is night where you are? Because this is obviously not going great right now for me. And this almost happened one evening where the same thing happened, where it clouded over, and I kept talking, and people were there were people active in the chat, and I was like, and I kept wanting to end the stream, and then suddenly it cleared, and then it's like, oh, okay, I can keep going. So we'll see. But what else was there? Yeah, I had started looking at some of the imaging code, but it's been just kind of trying to get to the bottom of some of these issues where it wasn't letting me switch between the stack and the live view modes. But I had started adding locking in a bunch of places because I had this feeling it was like some, yeah. Actually, I had a couple different theories on it. One of the things was the internal structure of the code, and there have been some kind of quirks to it, and I cleaned up some of that. I need to commit that. I don't think it impacts other people, but I think for this new code I'm working on, it'll be necessary. There is some, the one thing that another reason why I want to try the new firmware out there, when the images, when it's in this kind of preview mode and it's downloading individual frames, but it's not stacking. The stacks come down as a zipped, so it's compressed file. But kind of these kind of frames just are uncompressed, so they're kind of slow. I mean, it takes a bit of time because they're kind of big. And I think the newer firmware actually can compress the images and send them down using a slightly different internal command. And so I wanted to try that out because that could make it kind of make it update more frequently because it's not having to send as much data. Okay, let's see how 211202. Is it actually, or did it freeze internally? Socket timeout? What in the world? Interesting. Again, there's work to be done here, which is why it would be nice if there would be a few clear nights in a row. But actually, that's pretty fast. It's like every couple seconds. Ever since I fixed the Wi-Fi, it's actually pretty good. Like every couple seconds, it's sending a new frame down. Nice. Anyway, I just need to make it more reliable. But, you know, I don't know. This is, oh, I was about to say, maybe I should just end the stream because this is like not turning out well, but suddenly there's like a big clearing. So we'll see. Let's see what happens here. Am I actually going to be back in business here? Well, let me see what else. I should have been trying out or looking at targets that I could be trying to image if it cleared, because it looks like it's clearing. Nice. Okay, so I had tried M28. What about M54? Is that still visible? One other thing that, yeah, that's probably too low. One other thing that has come up, which has been kind of a recurring, I don't want to say frustration, but a recurring thing for me that it would be nice to have someone else mention it recently, the ability to add to a schedule while it's running. That would be handy. So that way I could kick off a schedule, but then continue to look into targets. But yeah, so that one's kind of off limit, or probably not going to work. Is it actually clearing? Looks like it's clearing. That's kind of just like it started. It just suddenly, well, hopefully it'll actually continue to clear. So if so, let's see what next. And it's ridiculous how bright these clouds are. I mean, if I can point that out, it's just ridiculous how bright they are, given that the sun set almost 2 hours ago. Anyway, let's see. Pluto's not visible yet. I mean, let's see what we can do. I kind of want to do things that are like not mosaics tonight, like some single shot things, but I'm not sure exactly what I want to try first. I had put down let me just see. I had put down NGC 281, even though I've gotten plenty of data on that one. I feel like I could always get more, but let's see what else there might be of note, of interest. Is this time right? Yeah, that's the right time. Pegasus, I definitely got M15. What's visible up? What is up here? I don't want to get too high up in the sky. C42. I don't necessarily want to do the veil because I'm not going to be able to do that justice, I feel. Yeah, and the crescent, that's up kind of high now. What have I not gotten in here yet? Cocoon Nebula. That sounds interesting. I don't think I mean, it's a cluster with nebulosity. So let me try that. 51, I see 5146. Okay, wow. Just like it started, it suddenly is, now this one is pointed kind of at an angle. So anyway, I'm going to do this one. I see 5146. Look it up. And do I want to try to do a light pollution filter on this one? Let me, 5146. It's a reflection emission. Let me do light pollution filter on it. Just see how it works. And I'm going to do it for, and using the nice handy dandy, I'll do 30 minutes. And I'll start it. Yeah, it's just all these little improvements. Just, I mean, big features, little features, it all just keeps getting better and better. Let's see what else. So while that one's going off to its target, let me see what else there could be. What is that? There's some interesting things here. Now the other day, that might be a bit lower. What is this? Ghost bush? That kind of spike isn't a real obstruction. That's an artifact I still need to clean up. And unfortunately, M33, I do, if it remains clear, I do want to do M33 again, but that's not going to be for at least another hour. Because of all my restrictions. Oh, Pac-Man is actually lower than I thought. Maybe I will do Pac-Man. I mean, Pac-Man's a relatively bright target, and actually I could stand to get more data with that. NGC 281. Plus I can use the light pollution filter, which will help. NGC 281. So I'll think about that one. Double cluster. Do I want to try the baby cluster, the baby nebula is a little too, it's too big. Let's see what the field of view looks like for that one. That's too big. Just like the Heart Nebula is too big. It was interesting the other day. It was like an NGC or a Messier object and the, but maybe that's not, maybe that's still low. There was like a Messier object in the Bubble Nebula. Where is the Bubble Nebula? Bubble Nebula. Oh, there it is. This is a Messier object. Maybe I'll try that again, but I'll try like this spot, maybe, or a little further over. Let's see what how the field rotation is going to go. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that one. And let's see. What? Are there more clouds? No, it must be wherever it's pointing. They're still exiting the sky. So let's pick. Let me go back to here. Schedule image, and I'm going to call this. I'm going to move it off screen so I'm not bouncing back and forth. I'm going to call this M52 and bubble. And I'm going to do 23 hours, 23 minutes, 9.13 seconds. And 61 degrees, 28 minutes, 54.4 seconds. J2000. I'm going to do 45 minutes. I'm going to use the light pollution filter and go. And start. And go to stats. And go to stats. Oh, it's already stacking. It's already up to 17 frames. I wonder if I can go look at that live. And if this has a problem, I'm just going to restart it once this one starts accumulating frames, because once the Seestar is actually taking pictures, the front end doesn't, the web interface and the API don't matter as much. I mean, it matters if you have a bunch of targets, but if you just have one, it doesn't matter. Except it won't stop automatically, but I can always manually stop it. So let me see. Why isn't this loading? Oh, hey, here we go. Well, what do you know? That actually isn't. I wasn't sure how bright of a target this was going to be, but I mean, it's promising after 20 frames that it's already showing something, especially in my light polluted skies. But yeah, for people who are watching this right now, if you haven't liked the video, please feel free to do that. It doesn't cost anything. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe. It doesn't. That is free as well. I do these live streams periodically. Depends on how clear the skies are here. But I try to do at least. I don't do them every day. Even if I had a stretch of completely clear weather, I wouldn't do it every day. But, you know, I'll do it. I try to do one a week if it's clear. If it's very clear, I mean, if it's clear a bunch of days, I might do 2 or 3 at tops, but typically only 1 or 2 a week, weather permitting. Yeah, so this is, oh, in other news, For those who haven't been keeping track, or who may not have been keeping track, there's a comet that I haven't checked in a few days, but there's supposed to be a very bright comet, or potentially. Comets are intrinsically unpredictable, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty good comet, pretty bright, perhaps very, very bright, um, in the morning skies, I believe. Um, which one is that? Is it like 20? Is it 23rd, 2023 Neowise? Comet. October 2024. Okay. C 2023 A3. Is this the one? Yeah. This is the one. Yeah. It could end up being one of the, I mean, we'll see, but it could end up being one of the brightest comets in decades, perhaps. Yeah, it's likely to be visible to the naked eye, and if we're lucky, it could even be brighter than Neowise from summer of 2022. I mean 2020. Um, so well, this is a older one, but yeah, it'll be northern hemisphere, better in the northern hemisphere. Yeah, they said the last time a bright comet was visible from northern latitudes was in '97. So it could be very interesting. So keep an eye out for that. I need to remember to bring it up on another live stream. And actually, what I need to do is try to image it. So let me see if I have this. Stellarium doesn't have. There's a lot of things you can turn on in Stellarium, but you have to explicitly kind of go in there. And I think I've added comets. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Now I'll have to double check if this is accurate. I mean, if it's let me go in and fix my horizon, my backyard. I'm just gonna go to a. Is this the one I like using? There's one that's it's not like kind of a perfect horizon, but it's more scenic. Anyway, okay, so that comet, let me go look at. Where is it? Sorry. So, okay, so yeah, see, it's really too close to the sun right now. Let me zoom in on this. So it's too close to the sun right now, but yeah, let's go back to an hour before sunrise. So today, yeah, or this morning, an hour before sunrise here, it would have been below the horizon. But once you get later in the month, it's actually it's low, but it's above the horizon. It's like 10 degrees towards the end of the month, and then the moon's out of Oh, sorry. My bad. Never mind. Let me go back. Okay, yeah. So it's below the horizon. And then actually, wait, let me see. Let me see. When is the sunrise here? When is the sunrise here? The sunrise here is 7:23. So let me not do quite an hour before sunrise. Let me do that's 50 minutes before sunrise. Okay. So 50 minutes before sunrise today, this morning, it would have still been below the horizon. But by the end of the week, it's already 5 degrees up. It looks like around the 20, maybe in a week or two might be best, because then it starts dropping. But does that mean it's then in the evening sky? It must. Yeah, so the sun sets here. The sun sets here at like 7:20. So if we go to like 8 o'clock, so 40 minutes after the sun sets, oops, like it's below the horizon, but then by mid-October, it's above the horizon. But I think it'll be farther away from the sun, so it starts fading quickly. But something to keep an eye on. I don't know if it'll be best in the morning sky or the evening sky, but it'll be around the end of this month and early next month, or early to mid next month. So basically over the next month, keep an eye out for this. Try to view it, figure out if it's in the morning or evening sky, and try to take a look at it. I know I definitely need to try to look at it. Like that might actually be worth me driving out of the city to try to get to it. Let me see, and then if it's in the morning sky, it's going to be in the east. It's going to be in the east, and then in the west in the evening, which makes sense because it'll be near the sun. But yeah, it's kind of exciting. It'll be interesting to see how yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it works, how it looks, and how big it is. Because some comets can have pretty big tails. Actually, let me see. Yeah. Nope, 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 nope. Darn it. More clouds? Erg. Oh, wow. What the heck? It happened again. My chat was half an hour behind. Yeah. I really want to, sorry, I'm literally half an hour behind on the chat because don't know why. I think it's Wile E. Coyote. Yep. Did somebody respond? I'm sorry, Chris. I would have responded earlier, but I didn't see your message. The best source for the current working install with the latest code, it depends. Are you running it on Windows or on like Raspberry Pi? On Raspberry Pi, there isn't a standalone. Sorry. On the Raspberry Pi, there is an image, a standalone image you can install, but it's a little out of date, and I'm going to update it today. after the stream. For Windows, there is a self-contained kind of executable, and I think it was getting updated with a more current version. It was a bit like a 2 or 3 weeks behind, but it's now more up to date. Yeah, I feel bad. I'm like half an hour behind. Jovi signed off. Sorry, Jovi. Thanks for joining. Sorry that you have Hazen Moon. That's annoying. Oh, hi, Catherine. I'm like half an hour behind. Thanks for joining. Waiting for it to get dark in Seattle. That's cool. Yeah, I'm just trying to hope that the clouds don't keep going. Observer Pro. Observer Pro. Observer Pro. Oh. Oh, that's cool. So it actually, yeah, will tell you your horizon and what's visible. That's handy. That's handy. I mean, I've kind of done that, but I had to kind of do it myself with Stellarium. Yeah, yeah. Thanks. Sorry, I figured it out, but yeah, that this will be an interesting comment to check out. Okay, visible. Oh, nice. Hi, apparition. Did you? That's cool. So you got to see the comet this morning. That's neat. But yeah, it looks like it could be a very interesting one to check out. I'm looking forward to that. I was trying to see. Need to not go to Facebook, but maybe cloudy nights. No. But yeah, some people. I know. I've seen some photos of comets taken with the Seestar. Was it this one? 13P Olbers. Yeah. I mean, that definitely looks like a comet. And that was only 38 frames. Pretty reasonable. But yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that, checking that. So keep an eye out for that. If you haven't already imaged it, like Apparition has. But yeah, let's go back. Is this actually still working? Okay, this claims it's still working. Okay, this is still working. I was afraid maybe with the little clouds coming through it would have it failed, but it didn't. Okay, so now the problem is it's stacking, but because of the way the app works, the way the code works, which is one of the things I want to fix, but my fix hasn't fixed it yet, so I have to stop and restart it. Yeah, the Blaze Star. Like that hasn't happened yet, and I wonder. And the problem is where I live, it's like I can't easily, well, I could see it if I really wanted to, but the problem is it's kind of blocked by houses. Yeah, so it should be let me look at my let me change my horizon back to my actual horizon. Yeah, see, unfortunately, unless I kind of hop in my car and drive, it's kind of obstructed right now. Yeah. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Well, I shouldn't say it's unfortunate. Well, I mean, yeah. It was kind of, I don't want to say hyped up, but like, yeah, it looked like there would be a nova for the blaze star, but and it looked, but like a lot of things, I mean, if it's kind of a variable kind of nova system where it's because of orbital periods or something more, even more predictable, and maybe this is related to that, but I mean, and there's still some level of unpredictability, but that's an interesting thing I haven't thought about recently. Let me look that up because I'm kind of curious. Okay, this is looking good. The reason I kind of chose the the midpoint I chose for this one is because the field rotation would cause this to go that way and this to go that way. They would become more centered. Because I was afraid if I, sometimes with field rotation, it ends up kind of one of your objects of interest ends up not looking as great. Okay. Okay, this is going well. So let me look at, what was I going to look at? Oh, Blaze Star. Blaze Star Nova. Like, what happened? Okay. Yeah, so like these other articles from June, July. Imminent. But let's see. Like it hasn't happened yet. Yeah, so it probably isn't in the Seestar catalog, but this was kind of the trick that I've used to image it before. You could either kind of, well, basically, if you go look for IC 4587. I'm going to put it in the chat. IC 4587. That is in the Seestar's catalog. And if you pick that, it'll be centered, but the Seestar will be well within the frame of view. It'll be just like right near the frame. IC 4587 is like a radio galaxy that, I mean, it's a galaxy, but it's not super bright, but it is in the catalog. So that's what I've been using, and others have been using it as well, because it's yeah, I mean, that's definitely one of the downsides. But let me see. I wanted to, yeah, no problem. Yeah, because like that was kind of like, if you're using the app, it's kind of frustrating when there aren't things like you want to image something and the Seestar can image it, like it's more than capable of it, but then it's not in the catalog. So like, what do you do? I mean, the good thing is, well, the problem is you can't always do that, but a lot of times there'll be something in the catalog nearby. But honestly, there've been other times where there wasn't, and I had to kind of find an object that was near-ish, like maybe a degree near what I wanted to image, and then I had to kind of drag it over to what I wanted. And what was interesting is a few times then it would say, oh, it's this, like it would be a catalog like this I think that's Hipparchus or something like that satellite, or some I forget which one that was. Anyway, it'll have like a number like this, and it'll actually label the object through the app that when it's taking it, but you can't actually plug that catalog item in there, but it knows about it, but it won't let you search for it, which is kind of annoying. Now, let's see. Can I actually enter? This is through the Seestar ALP, but because it uses Simbad, yeah. So like Simbad, you can, if you know kind of this catalog, it has a larger subset of catalog numbers, and then you can I mean, honestly, there's, yeah, it's kind of like if you're doing it through the app though, you're kind of, you're very limited, and um, if there isn't an object nearby, you end up having to kind of fiddle around with it and manually find it. So let me see. Oh, max Q depth. Yep, it's having issues again, but the good thing is, since I decided I was just going to deal with it, I'll just, since I'm only doing a single image at a time on each telescope, and I just restarted to kind of deal with it. Yeah, okay. So this should be, it should be showing up soon. I hope, unless it already locked up. I'd added some code to try to avoid that, but I didn't help. Or it didn't fix it completely. Let me see how I'm doing on clouds here. It's okay. Unfortunately, this is a, okay. Oh, completely cleared out. Go figure. So let's see, what does it say about the nova? Let's see. It says by the end of September. We're running out of time though. Like it's already mid-September. Let's see. When was this article posted? Back in June. Average every 80 years. So that's cool. Yes, I am. Why do you ask? Chris makes that. Let me see. Actually, that's cool. So the last time it erupted was 1946. So they'll be able to study it in gamma rays and X-rays and other stuff. Yeah. Is there a chance September will come and go without the nova? There are no guarantees, but hope abides. They're unpredictable. Yeah. So we'll see. So it's still TBD. Oh yeah, that'll be cool. Like the Very Large Array out in New Mexico, which is actually the shirt I'm wearing right now. It's from the VLA. Oh. Oh, Webster. Yeah, I know where that is. Webster. Yeah. Well, well, hello there, fellow resident of Houston area. Yeah, I'm towards I'm actually pretty close central Houston-ish. Not quite the center of Houston, but I'm inside 610. Like I'm pretty deep in. So I have pretty terrible viewing here. Like very bad. It's a bona fide Bortle 9, definitely. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see about this. I mean, we're kind of, actually that would be cool if we end up with a comet and a nova, a recurrent nova at the end of September, early October. That would be pretty cool. Get a two for thing, two rare infrequent things, a bright star and a nova. course, then it's like, is it a sign of the apocalypse? No. Um, cool. Let's go back to where. Oh, come on. Did it lock up again? No. Supposedly. Okay, that's working. But yeah, so this is the it's M52 and the Bubble Nebula, which is cool. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty difficult here, but I guess the way I look at it is if I can get good results, then pretty much anybody can get good results. Um, if in spite even in spite of the pollution and humidity and light pollution, um, I can get. I mean, this is pretty noisy, but you know, as I get more data and clean it up, it'll look decent. How's this one? Okay, this one's getting some nice field rotation there, but this is good. This is IC 5146. I wasn't even sure how well this would turn out because it's like reflection and emission, and I used the light pollution filter, which tends to suppress some of the reflection stuff. Yeah, I got the big gas flame out there. Yeah. Um, but yeah, so this is I was going to do probably 45 minutes with both of these and then I was going to move on to something else. I do want to try to get another image of Pluto. Let's see. It should be visible. I mean, it's there's going to be the conditions aren't ideal because the moon is right over here. Um, then again, the skies are so bad here, even without the moon. I'm not sure how much worse it's going to be. So once I get a little bit more data on one or both of these, not sure which one I want to stop. I'm almost tempted to stop this one and point towards Pluto. Maybe I'll do that now. Let's see, is that right? Okay, yeah, that's current. So I think I'll stop this one and point it at Pluto. So if I go none and then go to the schedule and then, oh, hello, Red. How are you doing this evening? Or thanks for joining. Okay, so let me do Pluto again. Basically, I've imaged it a few different nights, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to do it consecutive nights, but I have enough different photos of it that I wanted to be able to create like a little animation of it. So you can see it moving along relative to the background stars. So it is 20 hours, 9 minutes, 21.67 seconds. Now there is a way to get the web interface to talk to Stellarium directly, but for some reason I never set that up. So I'm going to do, I keep wanting to put it in seconds, but now I can actually go 30 minutes. And then I'm going to start that. And then I'm going to go to the stats menu. Well, I'm getting Pluto, but where is Mars these days? Is it still in the morning? It's still in the morning. Or no? Yeah, it's still below the horizon, so it won't rise. I won't be able to see it. I won't be able to see it till like 4 in the morning when it's finally out from behind houses. So no Mars tonight for me. No Mars for you. Let's see. So Pluto is in progress. M33 isn't quite visible. I mean, it's still obstructed. Yeah. That won't be visible for another hour or so. And just in time for the moon to poke behind the building. So let's see. So let me go back here. Still doing an auto go to. And let me plate solve succeeded. That's always a good sign. But see, this is where we need to put the sub stages in the web interface, because you can see like it's an auto go to mode, but like it's saying that the plate solving has succeeded, and you know it might do it could do other things too. So yeah, some point. But once that starts imaging, I will switch that over to live view. Yeah. Let me realized I haven't had a sip of water yet. So let's see. Still going. Yeah, it's still a little rough around the edges, and the good thing is if you just kind of, you know, fire it off, pointing at a target, you don't have to monitor it like this. But it would be good to add more information so you know what's going on. Is this? Oh, don't tell me it's okay. Plate solve. So Little Gem Nebula. Let's see. Let me go back to now, and then Little Gem. No, unfortunately. See, one of the problems I have is so this very ragged outline. This is an incorrect. This little spike here, but the rest of it is real. This is basically my horizon across the whole sky. I have so many buildings around me and a few trees, but it's mostly buildings, so there's no fixing it. So unfortunately, Little Gem Nebula is I mean, it's plenty high in the sky for everybody else. Let me see what I'm missing out on. Take a look at it. Let me see. Let me see. Sorry. Got distracted by something on the screen. Okay. But yeah, it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate. It's taken a little bit of time to try to load the... Sometimes this doesn't load. But yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm not sure. So that's NGC. Let me look it up. Of course, it'll always end up looking really impressive. So NGC 6445. Oh, that's cool. That's interesting. It does appear to be kind of small. So like with the Seestar, that could be a problem. Sorry. But of course this isn't loading, but let me turn that off. But yeah, unfortunately though, I can't image it right now because it's behind a building. Just, it's really frustrating. Actually, I wonder if at any point it would have been visible. Yeah, no, it would have been, I mean, theoretically, right at twilight, towards, like, there's a narrow window there where I was starting to be able to see stars. But, I mean, I could always, like, drive somewhere to, like, an empty field or something, but otherwise I can't from my backyard. Unfortunately. Another one's, oh, hi, Wiley Sight. How's it going? I was mentioning all the things you've been adding to the app, the web interface recently. Of course, is this actually okay? It's actually stacking. Great. So I just need to stop and restart because I think this is having issues. What's my favorite object to view? I mean, it depends. It it varies by season. Um, I mean it depends. Like I like a lot of different things. I mean, probably my all-time favorite. It's kind of a uh kind of a stereotypical one is like the Aray Nebula because that's the one I remember as a teenager observing visually, and because it was bright enough that I could see it with a relatively modest telescope in Houston. Um, and it's really easy to get a good image of it with again bad conditions, uh, uh, heavy light pollution, small telescope. You can get good results from it because it's so bright. Uh, Orion's definitely one of my favorites. Um, yeah, I think it might have been the first thing I imaged with my Seestar when I got it, actually, just because I knew it would be a pretty uh, easy target and also a good test to see what it would look like. Um, but there's a lot of things, and because that's like more of a winter and early spring thing, it's kind of yeah, a lot of things, and then some are more challenging than others, which sometimes can also be kind of cool. And um, oh, nice, we're able to start the imaging session tonight without using the app at all. Well, see, I haven't. I'm able to do it. I've been able to do it for a while, but because I don't use equatorial mode, so it made it a lot easier. But yeah, that's cool. Kicked off your schedule. That's cool. Yeah, Orion. Orion. I mean, it's a good one. And I mean, it's so bright that like even with, I mean, you can see it. You can see bits of it naked eye, even in Houston. Like you can see. I don't know if it's the trapezium, but like there's bits of the core. I mean, you don't like if it's a really dark night in the city, you can kind of you can't quite see the nebula itself, but I've been able to like take photos with my cell phone in Houston uh where you could kind of start seeing the nebula. So it's so bright, it's a great target. And for visual astronomy, for astrophotography, um, yeah, it does have manual focusing. Now I do have I do have a version of the app here. So let me pull this up and hopefully it'll connect. Unfortunately, it's imaging right now, so it won't let me focus. But yeah, there's like a focus button here, and well, that does an autofocus. But then if it's not imaging, and you turn on a setting, like in the app, you can go. Is it in the app? Or did they make that a default now? Focus, yeah. So in focus panel. So if you turn that on, then it lets you do manual focus. Yeah. So that's what I like. They didn't have that, or I don't think they had it originally, but then they added it, and it's so you can go kind of tweak things if you want. Yeah. But that's how I usually do it. Now, I'm running an older version of the app here. Like this is the iPad app, but it's the 1.0 version, not the 2 or whatever the latest is. But it should be the same in the latest. This is very frustrating. Somebody needs to fix that imaging. Oh wait, that would be me. You can see this some logging information I added. Very frustrating. And I had made a bunch of changes since the last live stream to try to make it more reliable, and obviously it didn't work. It may have made it worse. Hate it when that happens. Okay. For whatever reason, this is... Oh, come on. This task queue depth means it's... Okay, let me stop this again. Yeah, I don't know what I did to it, because I'm not gonna fix it on air, not today. Well, I tried to fix it on air and I failed, so I'm not gonna do it again. If I do end up having a few good clear nights in a row, I should be able to. I'm gonna dedicate at least one of them to fixing live view, or trying to fix it at least. I don't get it. And why is it getting all these? It's very strange. Well, this is underwhelming. Not to mention a bit frustrating. Just curious, how are the conditions? Oh, hey, our friendly clouds came back. Dang it. You know what? I'm going to switch this off of... I'm going to switch this telescope off live view. And then I'm going to restart it and try to get just this one in live view. So the live view in the software is flagged experimental, and there's a reason. There's a reason for that. It's definitely a bit experimental. Actually, I keep forgetting. This might not be helping. I had the firmware limits how many devices you can have connecting at a time, and sometimes having the app open causes issues. Okay, cool. So let's see where Pluto might be in this frame. So let me see. Okay. So, all right. Okay. Okay, it's somewhere in here. Somewhere in there. So you've got kind of, let's see. Okay, I've got that star here, which is this right there. And then it's got, so from this star is this star, I think. This one is this one. So if you go kind of, so I've done this a few times of trying to figure out. I've imaged Pluto a few times, and because it moves relative to the background stars, try to figure out where it might be. Okay, and that star is this star, and that one. So I think it's somewhere around here. I think it's somewhere around there. It might be that little faint dot. That might be Pluto. How much data do I have on this? 16 minutes elapsed. I'm going to let it go to about half an hour. I think I've done that previous time, so trying to get a little bit more data. Heart Nebula. The only problem, I may go ahead after I get a little bit more data on Pluto, I might point it at the Heart Nebula. The only problem is it's too, like, you have to really get it, the whole Heart Nebula, you have to do a mosaic. Otherwise, you just get the heart of the Heart Nebula. Yeah, see, like, I mean, it is nice, and it's you get some nice nebulosity. So I might go ahead and do that, just to have another target, or maybe, do I want to try to get this open cluster? No. Yeah. Maybe I do the open cluster, or I'll do the heart of the heart. Why not? I'll do the heart of the Heart Nebula. Yeah, I'll have this do a little bit more. I'm not sure how much more I want to do of it. I mean, if the astrospheric is correct, I'll have some more dark nights. So I'll try again. Get some more images of Pluto. Maybe I'll be lucky and get like 4 days in a row, because that's really what I want to do, is have enough where I can animate it more smoothly instead of having like gaps between days, irregular gaps between days. Okay, this one is still going, so let me go look at this. Live. And hopefully this doesn't lock up or get that queue message. Yeah, so Wiley site, what targets are you imaging tonight? So let's see. It's still going. But yeah, I'd been kind of looking at ways I can redo some of the internal code for imaging mode so it's a little bit more reliable, or a lot more reliable. Because I think if I can get it reliable, I like then I'll turn off the experimental flag. But I really want it to be a lot more reliable. And ideally, I'd like it to be comparable to the app, where if you switch to solar mode, it actually goes, or it asks you if you want to go to the sun. Or if you click moon mode, it switches to, automatically goes to the moon. And if you pick planet, it asks you what planet, and then it goes to that mode. But it doesn't do any of that right now. I mean, you can go into like scenery, like you can go into any of these modes and you can control it with the, well, since they're imaging, it's not showing it, but with the joystick, you can go control it. But I haven't focused on some of that as much, just because the imaging itself can be a little flaky. So Cygnus Loop and Heart Nebula, both mosaics. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I was actually, I don't know if you saw it, I was actually able to use the new, being able to specify the elapsed time in, the session time in minutes instead of having to do it in seconds. That was nice. Nice addition. It is, I think I'm going to switch the Pluto one to just be on the stats page or the home page. And then that way we can watch, the M52 and Bubble Nebula photo, because that looks a little more interesting than just a star field that happens to have a trans-Neptunian object / former planet in it. That's a mouthful. What am I looking for? Yeah, I was going to go to stats page. And then maybe do I want to go until it's like maybe 80 frames? Because it's been losing a lot of frames, but I think I've also been having more clouds coming in. Let's see. Oops, wrong one. Oh, no, the clouds cleared up again. It's very frustrating. But, I mean, it would be more frustrating if they didn't clear up, but the fact that they keep clearing up is frustrating its own way. Because it's like, you think it's fine, and then it gets cloudy again, and then it gets clear again. Anywho, at least I'm able to get some imaging done tonight. Yeah. Pretty massive artifacts here, but that's fine, because really I wanted to mostly focus on these, and these are good. It's almost an hour elapsed on this one, and it's like pretty high reject. I mean, it could be worse of a rejection rate, but that's still not amazing. That's not great. Now, are these updating? I mean, has the count gone up? Oh yeah, it went up. So it's up to 73. Maybe I'll stop it when it hits 80. If it hits 80, unless the reject frames. Maybe these reject frames were from the clouds that came through a bit ago. Yeah, maybe that was the issue I had. I'm gonna have a sip of water. Yeah, I've done this before, where if the conditions are a little iffy, I won't live stream, and I'm able to I'll focus on trying to fix the software. But I guess I just, yeah. too many other things going on during the day that I don't always have energy to do it in the evening. Funny that. It's getting close to 80. I said I was going to have it go to 80 and then stop it, so I think I'll do that. And then I'll try the Heart Nebula. Just because, why not? Yeah, I don't know. And actually, that might be something I do. I don't. I do have a member program. Not that there's any obligation for that, but I have actually debated. So like, if I had a stretch, it it hasn't happened yet, but one thought was if I had a stretch of like a bunch of days where it was clear and I actually wanted to image several nights in a row, I do sometimes stream on Twitch. A lot of times I stream in both places. I'll stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. I don't think I've actually done Twitch only streams, except maybe as like a short test. The other thought I've had is streaming on Twitch and then like YouTube member only stream. Not so much trying to, what do you call it? Uh, not so much trying to paywall it, as it were. It's more about I don't want to necessarily clutter up, not clutter up, but I don't necessarily want to have just 100% live streams on this on my channel. Although it is the dominant type of video I have, especially the last few months. Um, but yeah, it's a thought I've had, doing kind of like a member only stream, just for the occasions where maybe I have a bunch of other streams during the week. But we'll see. Oh, I was like not paying attention. Now it's almost up to 90 frames on Pluto. Cool. So that's actually going along nicely. Maybe I'll wait till it's 90. And then of course I got some failed frames. So let's see. Let me go to the live view and see if I can see the live view. Come on, live view. Don't fail me now. Dang it. Come on. You can do it. I'm hesitant to hit reload because the last few times I forced a reload, it ended up getting into that queue, whatever error. I mean, it got an image, but it hasn't. Yeah, what the hell? I'll do it again. It'll probably fail. And it failed. Let me do what I did last time. Go. Oops. Okay. It's thinking about it. And meanwhile, it's gone past 90 frames. So, oh, there we go. Okay. So, Pluto, still not super bright, but it's somewhere in here, I think. Maybe it's that one. I mean, this applies somewhat of a stretch to the image. A lot of times when I bring it into Serial, I can kind of push it further and kind of increase the contrast, get rid of this gradient, and image it. So it's fine. I'll stop it now because I'm not going to get substantially more data. Plus, it's probably on the verge of going behind a building anyway. Yeah, it's getting close to being behind a building, so I'm going to stop imaging, and then I will go to, I was going to do Heart Nebula. I heart the Heart Nebula. So image. Now, because this is, it may not be late where you are. And it's not particularly late here. It's 10:30 p.m. here. But because I do work tomorrow, I might not go super late tonight, but we'll see how much later I'll go. Let's at least start with IC 1805 and look it up and use light pollution filter, and we'll do 45 minutes. I think. Do we want to do that? Yeah, we'll do 45 minutes to start with. And submit and start. And go to the stats screen. And this one is still going. Okay, auto. Yeah, see some of these, the working, starting, and some other stuff that comes back. We need to really put that in the front end at some point. Charge status full. 194 successful, 95. Okay, it just went up to 195. Okay, fine. So that one's still working. And once this starts imaging, I'm going to look at this one and I'll stop it then. Because it has been flaky, because I'm using live view and I have local changes that make it flakier, and I'm running two telescopes, which tends to make it flakier. I'm letting it kind of get to its target and start imaging, and then I'll go check the live view on the other one. So if it accidentally locks it up, I'll be able to restart it without interfering with this one. Anyway, if that makes sense. Oh, it's almost up to 200 frames. So let's see, is this plate solve succeeded? That's always a good sign. Man, my neck. I've said this on a previous live stream. This is like a table, and my desk is over there, but my desk is way too small. And at some point, I might swap out this table for a bigger desk. So then I'll have a more comfortable chair too. And I'll probably have the monitor more moved over so I'm not like turning to the side the whole time. Anyway, it's behind the scenes without being behind the scenes. Anyway, let's see. Is this going? It's still going. Oh, for some reason it's not auto refreshing. Maybe the screen doesn't auto refresh or consistently or something, but it is stacking. So let's go to this one, see what it looks like, and stop it and then stop it. And is this imaging? It's thinking about imaging. Okay. It's very frustrating. If I had more clear skies, this would be fixed. But it's been so bad here. I mean, we had hurricane and a near miss with a hurricane, and just monsoon rains. Why? Of course. Now it's doing that task queue depth thing again. So I'm going to just stop it and restart it. And I'm probably going to leave this one once I restart. Once I stop this image, I don't think I'm going to do another target on this telescope, just because it's having two telescopes seems to increase the flakiness more. Okay, so that's looking nice. Let's see. Oh, I'm 10 minutes behind. Hi, Dark Shades. Hi, Dave. Sorry, I've been my chat has been my chat has been behind. My YouTube chat, for some reason, it's been consistently behind. I have to go in there manually and refresh the page. It normally like streams, or it got like way behind and then suddenly it caught up. So that's annoying. Yeah, if the Blaze Star does go Nova, I hope for tomorrow on my birthday. That would be an impressive birthday present. It's like star exploded for my birthday. Yeah, you need me to add buttons for polar align and create dark on live view. Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to get the imaging itself stable, I think. And then I'm going to add more button functionality, cuz like, okay, so I'm going to stop this. But like right now, the like these buttons are hooked up. The preview and stack are hooked up to something, but they don't work reliably. Record doesn't do anything. The joystick controls do work. The focus does, if you click auto, but this is only in my local copy, it does actually do an auto. It does trigger an autofocus, and the exposure doesn't do anything yet. I was just kind of playing around with the design. And if you go like into scenery mode, which is kind of funny to do at night, and it kind of takes a while, which doesn't thrill me. Hi Seiko, what did you miss? I don't know. It's like I had a lot of clouds and then it kind of cleared up and then clouds, and it's just been crashy, the software. Yeah, what I do find interesting is in scenery mode, it does pick up the brighter stars. So I can move it. It's a little bit behind, but you can kind of see it's let's see. I moved it a bunch, I think. Yeah, there they are. There's a star. But yeah, so I mean, it's better during the day when you can kind of see it moving. But yeah, so like all that works. It's just I want to get the live view more reliable, because my two biggest beefs with it right now is I can't switch between, like, if you start stacking an image, if it's pointing at a target and it's just kind of previewing it, it'll show fine. I mean, it'll look fine. But then if you start stacking, it won't automatically pick that up. And that frustrates me. I mean, for my own personal use, it frustrates me a lot. And then the fact that it has these issues where it'll lock up, where like I've had to restart it so many times today. And I think some of that might be a symptom of the changes I've made locally to try to make it better. I think I've made it worse. Whoa, what just happened? Oh, I think that's just a glitch. I don't think that's real. Unless it was like a plane flying through. Anyway, I'm going to stop that. And let's go look at... Okay, I'm going to go try... view the live view, and hopefully it won't cause problems. But if all goes well, See, it's not, it's viewing the, this is the preview view, not the stacked view, and I wanted the stacked view, so I'm going to have to stop and restart it. I'm just closing this one out totally, completely, because it's not helping. Anyway, yeah, I guess the recurring thing is I just need to make it more reliable for just the viewing part. And I think once I personally, once I get it in that point, to that point, then I want to add a bunch of different button functionality. So yeah, like the polar alignment and dark mode. And as part of, that's weird. What is it doing? That is interesting. So I'm sorry, I'm like looking at these logs and it's almost like it's getting both the compressed and non-compressed. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, I did, like I said, I did make some changes and I think I've made it worse. Officially, I think I've made it worse. Yeah, because that's the stacked mode. Let me, just in the interest of trying to show some stuff for the evening while I'm still streaming. Okay. Basically, I had this before where I force it to be stacking or to show the stacked view when you're stacking, which isn't the worst thing. It's just I wanted to be able to preserve the preview mode, but let's see. So let's see. Feel like it's going off the rails. Okay. Is that the stacked view? I guess that is the stacked view. Because you can see more of the nebulosity here. I mean, it is, the conditions are definitely less than optimal. I mean, the moon is it's almost full moon, so that's certainly not helping. What's that 90-degree turn button? No, the problem is like the sensor itself is, I mean, unless you put the Seestar on its side, the sensor's vertical. Now, that said, some people were asking about kind of doing a panorama wall and scenery mode where it would kind of sweep out an image. And I forgot about that. Someone had asked about that at one point. That would be kind of cool to implement. I haven't been following the kind of the newer releases, but Wiley Site, if you're around, has anybody mentioned something about panoramas in scenery mode? I thought I had heard something about that. Yeah, but to display the image. Yeah, the problem is it's like I say, the sensor is vertical, so I mean you could do, okay, not that you've seen. I thought I'd heard some mention of it, but maybe I imagined that, or maybe it was something that was on some forum somewhere. But we could do that. We could potentially do that. Actually, I'm not going to do this. I will promise on stream that I will not implement this until I've fixed my other stuff. Okay, I have witnesses. And this video will remain up, so I'm not going to take this video down afterwards. But like Python, OpenCV, is it stitching? Is that what I want to look up? Yes. Stitcher API? There is a Stitcher API. Of course there is. OpenCV. mode. Okay, I'm gonna create an issue about that because I think this would be cool. Um, uh, what do you call it? Scenery, add panoramas to scenery mode. There, OpenCV, which we use already, has a stitching API. Anyway, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to implement it until I fix my stuff. And when I say my stuff, I'm talking about the parts of the live preview or the live view that I need to fix, that I need to fix, that had bugs to begin with. Don't get my yeah, exactly. No, I'm not doing it. That's why I'm putting it on this. Actually, maybe I'll do let me see. GUI. And did I add this? I'm gonna add this. I'm gonna add a new tag. Blue sky. I'm gonna make it whatever. I'll make it purple. Okay, so it's a blue sky item too. Here's scope creep sliding it. But wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be really cool to have, like, I mean, like, if you're bringing along the Seestar anyway, and it's got a motor, it's got, like, it can do a pan pretty, like, it would be really straightforward to have it do a pan, capture the images, like it comes back as the video comes back as a series of or the library that's used for video. It takes a single frame at a time from the video and sends it to the web browser. So it would be easy enough to take a series of videos and then, or a series of frames and then stitch them together automatically. But yes, scope creep. I'm not gonna do it until I fix my stuff. But once I do, see, that's an extra incentive for me to fix my stuff. Is to add something completely unnecessary, but something that might not actually be too bad, but it would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. Okay, stitching. Yeah, I mean, like, look at this. This isn't this much code. It takes a series of images, this little demo. It creates a stitch. And what is mode? Output mode? Wait, I'm like missing where's mode. Okay, mode. Choices mode. Panorama. Okay, anyway, there's some parameters, but you can just have it do, and then, yeah, and then it just writes it out. So it's like all done in the library. You just feed it a series of images, and then it stitches it. I mean, stitching panorama, like, programs to do that have been around for decades at this point. I like that. Holy moly. That is an interesting thought, Seiko. You could do, well, the only problem is the field of view might not be wide enough. But it would be interesting. Yeah, I think that's what Seiko's getting at. But I was talking about doing a panorama with the Seestar. Just why not? Like, basically when it's in scenery mode, it's just doing a live video of mostly daytime, kind of during the day. Yeah, it's useful for when you're during the day, scenery mode. It's like a telephoto lens or telephoto video camera. But yeah, you could, I mean, the library we use internally to do some of the image processing for live view already, like the library we're already using has stitching built in. So theoretically, it wouldn't be that difficult. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. But again, not until I fix my other stuff. I mean, I'll think about it. I just won't act on it until I've had a chance to fix my stuff. But yeah, that could be kind of cool. And like right now, what we do when we're panning or when we're doing certain when we start up things and kind of unpark the telescope and kind of go up to an initial position, it does kind of this initial slew, but it would be easy enough, and the joystick uses the same mechanism, but it would be easy enough to say, okay, I want to do a panorama a certain amount wide, and then it could just basically yeah. I mean, it could even be like you center it and it goes, if you want to go a certain amount wide, it goes to the left, then starts scanning. Or you just kind of like the iPhone where you do the panorama mode and you just kind of scan it, except that would be the Seestar. You'd basically start it wherever you go and you say, okay, go. And it scans and it stitches as it goes along. And then once it's done, I mean, the easiest thing would probably be to tell it ahead of time that you want it to be a certain width wide. But that would be cool. Oh, custom landscape tutorial. Well, when you come out with it, if you're doing, I guess you're doing a video about it, let me know and I'll link to it because that would be handy, because I show it on stream, but I'm haven't done a video, and but it would be great to have a video that I could point people at. Yeah, the roof line isn't quite right. Yeah. Hello, Tech Gamer. How are you doing? In between trips, are you traveling a lot these days? Or oh, that's interesting. Am I still streaming? Because I think it happened again. That's very interesting. Yeah, let me see. Why is this? Okay, that was weird. I don't know if the video glitched or paused for other people, but things paused on my side, which is kind of weird. Oh, Vegas and Kentucky. Cool. Yeah, video tutorial using a phone app and GIMP. That'll be cool. And actually, another reason. Okay, that's good. And it's kind of, my setup is weird because, well, what will happen? Oh, that's why. So I'm connected to this wireless access point, and sometimes the wireless access point goes offline, or my laptop loses its connection to the wireless access point. And this is since I redid it. But I'm not actually streaming from this laptop. I have a hardware encoder, and that it's plugged into the network. And I have like off screen, I have like a little status thing that shows, and it claimed it was still streaming, but that's why it, even though they're on the same network, that's why it kept streaming and my laptop kind of went dead, lost its connection to the internet for a moment. It's very confusing to me because I don't know if other people are seeing the problems I'm seeing, if it's like my internet connection or it's just like the Wi-Fi is having issues. Testing Android beta for Seestar tonight. Well, that's cool. I'm kind of curious how what you think of it. I know I've heard some people who've been testing it out. It's got some new features that could be interesting. It also has caused a bit of grief, shall I say, with this the Seestar LP software, where some like minor things changed and kind of would break it. I think we fixed it all. Mosaic takes forever. The and that's the other thing. Wiley's site did an analysis of it. Somebody had run the new Mosaic mode that's built into the very latest version or the latest beta of the Seestar software itself, and it does kind of like SSC and Seestar ALP. They do the Mosaic mode. It just does a grid of panels that overlap a certain amount. But the Seestar, they did a different way where it kind of goes in a spiral, starting in the center and kind of spiraling outward. But it's basically moving. It gets a lot of overlap, and some of it helps with field rotation, but it spends a lot of time moving the telescope. And so your average imaging time is terrible. Like, it's really terrible. So yeah, some people, I know Wiley's site, he took some data from someone who did a mosaic of M31, and it was bad. Like, he has this graph of like the amount of time actually spent imaging versus total elapsed time, and yeah, for every 10-second frame it takes 30 seconds. That's pretty bad. I mean, it's nice because in the sense that it's built in and you don't have to think about it, but yeah, it's very slow. So Brazos Bend Observatory. So that's for people who aren't in the Houston area. It's a local observatory that's run by them. I think it's by the local Museum of Science, located about a bit over an hour from town. I have been there, but it's been a long time. And I'll tell you how long it's been. It's actually, I might have been there once but actually it's the George Observatory. I think it's called that. Am I having okay. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Like, they have some telescopes there and stuff. I mean, a proper observatory there, like open to the public. Yeah, so I'm trying to find, oh, didn't want to do that. I'm going to really date myself here. Give me a minute. Give me a minute to date myself. No, it's out near Needville. 30-second frame. So yeah, if you switch to 30-second frames, it takes 58 frames. Okay, George Observatory. Let me look this up. When I got here, I'm off to bed. Well, thanks for dropping by, Cheap Astro, and let me know when you get that video done on doing the horizon in Stellarium, because I I'm very interested in redoing my Stellarium horizon. So thanks for dropping in. Good night or good morning. um, Observatory. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. This is. Why is it so slow? Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna really date myself. So is this okay. So late in 1986, it was because of Halley's Comet or Halley's Comet. Um, so they, let's see. Okay. So it was sometime they started getting funds in 88. Um, anyway, it was like, basically it was like in the early 90s it opened, I think, or late 80s. Anyway, I was there for the grand opening. um, I don't know if I've been back since. So it's been a few years. Um, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that took a while to look that up. But yeah, I've been there. It's just been a while. I want to go back. I should go back because it's pretty cool. Yeah. Bortle 5, I mean, Bortle 5 is what happened? Did it glitch? Sorry. Okay, yeah. It glitched. Yeah, Bortle 5 in Needville, which is where the observatory is. Oh, look at this. See this? See this this blinding light there? The moon's finally kind of raised over it's risen over the one of the buildings. And you can see how bright that is and see how that plant is bright. Yeah. It might get better, but it's hard to say. Um yeah, it might actually be Bortle 4, which would be great. I've been meaning to go out there. I've been meaning to go out there and maybe take take my kids out there just so they can, I mean, cuz we don't get to see skies that dark that often. I was going to say dark skies, but it's not that they're that dark, but compared to what we're used to, they're not that dark. Yeah, not sure if that's a bug or not, as far as like, it might be kind of an intrinsic limitation of the way what they've done, because like I wouldn't be surprised if after every time it moves, it has to kind of redetermine that it's looking at the right spot. So it's probably spending a lot of time plate solving, I'm guessing. Which certainly isn't going to be great. Yeah, let me see. Actually, yeah. Actually, you can. I scrolled it down a little bit. That blinding light in the corner is the moon finally rising over the building. Um, yeah, because if you look at the images just a bit ago, yeah, you can see that it didn't. Well, it was starting to get bright, but it's really getting bright now. Yeah. Yeah, and there's a little bit of cloud there. So we will see. But this is coming along. Although I feel like it's actually not getting any more bright. Maybe because the sky is washing it out. But I thought I did did I do the, maybe it's just the conditions are so bad. But yeah, at this point though, it is getting a bit later. I am leaning towards wrapping it up for the evening. Oh, and Portal 4. That's yeah. Yeah, so Chris makes that. Do you ever go to the George Observatory? I'm just kind of curious. Um, because I haven't been there in a long time. A long, long time. See, this is interesting. It claims that seeing is excellent, but transparency is average, but then there's the moon, so that's not really great. But it does look promising for Wednesday and Thursday. And maybe even Friday and Saturday. That would be great. If I actually had like multiple days in a row that I could observe, that would be fantastic. And then the moon will kind of be um like when does the moon rise? On Wednesday. Uh let's see. So the moon rises at like 8 p.m. When did it rise today? Oops. Is that right? Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. So at 8 p.m. the moon rises on Wednesday, and by Friday it'll be 9 p.m. So yeah, that'll be nice. So it'll start, especially if like Thursday, Friday is clear, the moon will start being it'll be rising like I'll be able to get an hour or two of imaging before the moon even rises, and probably a bit after that before it actually starts producing enough light that it is worse than the light pollution I experience just already. I mean, just normally. Um, oh, that's interesting. So the spacecraft was taken to the in the cargo bay to capture Halley's comet. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I remember that was like speaking of hyped things. I mean, because since that comet is a pretty it's a pretty big one, and it's every 76 years or so. Um, better sky info. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not sure where you. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know where you are, Seiko. Yeah, it's that has been a frustration of mine, not from an astronomy point of view, but like weather. I remember over the years going elsewhere and in the world, and like we have a lot of information uh, available. Uh, kind of, yeah. Um, yeah. So let's see. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure if Chris makes that. If you heard that, I was curious if you'd been out to Brazospan. Um, I'm sure if you have, it would definitely have been more recently than I have. Uh, I mean, I think I've been to Brazos Bend to the park, but like more recently. But I don't think I've actually been to the George Observatory more recently. I know I've driven by it a bunch of times. Like I'll see the signs for it on the freeway. Um, but yeah, so tomorrow night is iffy. even if it's clear, I might just go ahead and use that as an opportunity to work on the code and try to fix all my problems. Um, and I said I want to fix my problems and I'm not going to work on panoramas until I do that. But it's not just to fix kind of the imaging. I also want to get these buttons functional. Let's see what this is. Is it actually in the... Oh, and we're starting to get clouds. Some clouds. And of course, with the moon that bright, it's going to make it even worse. It's really going to light up the clouds, which is maybe why this image doesn't seem to be progressing much. Yeah, it's almost full moon. Oh, okay. You have within the last year. That's cool. I need to make it out there again, just to I mean, partly for myself. Yeah, actually. Yeah, maybe once. Actually, that would be a cool place to go for the comet, but that's kind of far. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was actually thinking I should go down there and take my telescope or my Seestars with me, and I could take my other telescope, one of my other telescopes with me too. I might do that. Yeah, next live stream. I don't know that it'll be the next live stream. I would probably want to do it when the conditions were good and no moon, because I wouldn't want to bother going down there and then having like moon issues. Like I feel like, yeah, I wouldn't be getting the full benefit. Let me see. How far is it from my house? It is... I have random things in my search history here. Oh, that's not too bad. It's 50 miles, 44 minutes to drive down there. Oh, that's not too bad. Like it's basically I go due south. Actually, it must be pretty close for you, Chris. Yeah, colder and less humid. Well, and that's based on what I remember down there and just my experience with parks in this area of Texas. Mosquitoes. I'd be really concerned about being eaten alive by mosquitoes, or other bugs. If I went like before it starts getting cool, because once it starts getting cool, it starts kind of greatly reducing the number of mosquitoes. So that might be like an October, November trip. Yeah. But yeah, based on where you said you were, if you're in Webster, that must not be too far from, well, it should, I imagine it's closer for you. Oh, actually it might not be, because Webster's over on, I forgot Webster's all the way over on, yeah, it's on 45. Yeah, so it's probably about the same distance for you. For me, it's about 45 miles, which isn't bad for skies that much darker. I'll have to think about that. That would be a neat live stream. Yeah, to go to a proper dark sky. Well, I should say a dark sky that isn't too far from me, and given that I'm right in the middle of a very large a metro area with a very large light dome, that would be yeah. No, 25 minutes. That's not. Oh, okay. You're more in Alvin. Okay, yeah. So you're closer. Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, for me, it's a good 50 miles for me, which isn't too bad for skies that much darker. I'll have to go check that out. Thanks for reminding me of that. I thought of about it a few months ago, but I haven't really thought about it that much recently. But yeah, that would be cool. Be cool to check that out. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of it's a nice little setup there. Well, it's not like that little. Like they actually have 3 domes there. Um, yeah. See, they can actually see the Milky Way there. Obviously, much darker than here. There's no way to see the Milky Way here, not without like some massive, ridiculous filters, I'm sure. And even then, yeah, that's true. We could have we could have a bunch of sea stars all at once. Yeah, October new moon, but the problem is it's still going to be it's on the 2nd. The problem is it could still be pretty humid here. Like as it is right now, um I mean in fake units here. I mean it's hot here. It's really hot here. For those who aren't used to Fahrenheit, here's the Celsius numbers. It's not great for you know. So yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Although Big Ben, like that's a whole nother yeah, level of dark sky. What is it? Dark Shades I have to run. Yeah, thanks for joining Dark Shades. Uh, uh, thanks for being here and have a good evening. Yeah, when is it not humid in Houston? True, but hot and humid is unpleasant. I can kind of deal with cool and humid, but hot and humid is not a great combo. Like right now, it's yeah, like 77% humidity. It's just yeah, not pleasant. Not at all pleasant. But yeah, definitely need to check out the George Observatory. That would be cool. Maybe not October. Unless we have some cool front come in. But November 1st should be good. Yeah. Yeah, November 1st and then it's not quite Thanksgiving and close enough. Yeah, that's true. We did have some nice weather. And there was a, there was an interval where at least here it was dry enough for enough days and it was hot enough that the mosquitoes there weren't many mosquitoes where I live. Um, I mean, we usually have less in the city anyway because of pavement, but but yeah, it was we did have some nice days there. I look forward to it again. Um, hopefully not too much longer. Let's see where this is. But I think not that the sun or the not the sun, the moon. It is oh okay. Well, I think between this moon here and the clouds, I think this might be a good time to wrap it up for the evening. Uh, but yeah, thanks for joining everybody. If you haven't liked the video, like the video. And like I said, I probably won't do a live stream tomorrow, even if it's clear here. But assuming that this forecast holds, I might do one Wednesday. Because that's looking, I mean, it looks like we might actually have a few good days in a row. So Wednesday or Thursday, I'll probably do another live stream. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll actually have some of these bugs worked out. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining. Thanks, Chris makes that. And thanks everybody else who's joined, and I will see you. It's the super omega weather pattern. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, thanks, Dave. Thanks for joining, and let's see, and yeah, clear skies to everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Good night.